Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of our Tales from Tech Support. In today's episode, how an obsessed parent can lose you your biggest client. Why the server room isn't an open access area. That's not good enough. You're a computer expert, you should know these things. I'm old and have a lecture in 5 minutes and don't know how to use Zoom, can you show me? Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. How an obsessed parent can lose you your biggest client. I've told this story to all my friends, and I suppose it's time I share it with you. I'm a developer at an agency. Our biggest client at the time was Dollar Bank. Apparently, banks in our area have a huge hard-on for raffles, giveaways and similar marketing tricks to get new accounts opened. Better yet, they are constantly trying to one-up each other, which is great for marketing/developer agencies like ours. We present them with an idea for their next big thing. We get 20 young influencers to take photos of themselves with some bank cards and stuff. All of them some small-scale school-age influencers paid a symbolic amount of money. I create an Instagram clone, where people vote for their favorite photo. Each week, a new set of photos opens up and voting starts again, for a total of 8 weeks. Everyone who participates in voting enters a raffle, and the influencer with the most votes gets a reward, a top-of-the-line newest smartphone. A lot for a kid their age, so we expected them to go rabid and get as many people as possible to vote for them and possibly open up a bank account to get those extra raffle tickets. I was the sole developer for this job, which meant I had the opportunity to take out the fanciest tools in my toolbox. I was quite proud of the end product. It was done on time, on budget, well tested, and could handle tons of traffic. Then, the campaign goes live. Voting starts, traffic exceeds our expectations, everything on my side is working great. On the second day of the campaign, an 18-year-old dollar influencer girl gets a massive spike in vote count during a 1-hour period. Immediately after, we get our mail flooded with cheating accusations from another participant's dad. This kid was a 14-year-old boy with a very important dad, somehow involved in politics and completely obsessed with his son's social media career. The very important dad is threatening us in every possible way he can. Negative social media posts, complaining to Dollar Bank, boycotting the campaign by getting other participants on board, and somehow threatening legal action. In the same email, he mentions at least 3 times how his son is a huge social media personality, how we should be lucky to even have him in the game, how he didn't even want to participate in such a small-scale event, and just how impossible it is for him to receive fewer votes than Dollar Influencer Girl. At Dollar Agency and Dollar Bank Marketing Department, it's all hands on deck. While the rest is figuring out if there's any exposure, and how to deal with Very Important Dad, it's my job to find out if Dollar Influencer Girl cheated, and to get proof. While the security was done right, auditing and logs were inadequate for this investigation. Server access logs contained IP addresses and such, but contained no information that would allow me to connect HTTP requests to actual users and who they voted for. Authentication was done either via Google SSO, Facebook SSO, or SMS code verification. Database records were consistent, so I ended up browsing through the SSO data, trying to spot any sign of multiple dummy Google or Facebook accounts being created just to vote for Dollar Influencer Girl. The best proof I could come up with was the ratio between different authentication methods. If Dollar Influencer Girl cheated, the makeup of the accounts that voted for her would be different from the rest of the accounts. In layman's terms, if the app had 40% of users registered via Google, 35% via Facebook, and 25% via SMS, and the accounts that voted for her had the same ratio, or at least, not different enough for any statistical significance, it would 99% prove that she did not cheat. If she cheated, she would have to know the ratio to fake it. Although, she could devise an elaborate plan to get the data from another website with a similar target audience, buy hundreds of burner phones, create thousands of Google and FB accounts, all to get that main reward, a phone. A most likely explanation according to Very Important Dad. The people at Dollar Bank did not quite understand the mathematics, so my investigation failed to reach any conclusions. So they did the obvious. A lawyer from Dollar Bank called Dollar Influencer Girl to ask her how she got those votes. Turns out she was an animator at a college party, where she picked up the mic and told everyone to vote for her. She then signed a statement that this was true. For the remaining weeks, we were stalling Very Important Dad, telling him that the investigation is in progress and that we cannot give him more information without violating our privacy policy. Meanwhile, he had his friends post conspiracy theories on social media and other weird comments on Dollar Bank and Dollar Agency pages. In the end, the campaign exceeded all KPIs, some by a factor of 10, and would be considered a massive success were it not for the accusations of cheating. It put a strain on our relationship with the Dollar Bank, and we received no future projects like this from them. Eventually, they pulled all their work. Why the server room isn't an open access area? I don't think I've posted this one. I'm in the server room, working on a new server that's going live sometime later this week. Just doing those little things that help a server work at its best when it goes live. Not buying the BS. I'm hiding because I feel like someone beat me with a stick while I slept, and I don't deal well with some people when I hurt this bad. So, I'm hiding in the server room at my little table, with my KVM bouncing between servers looking for an issue. I've got my headphones on and audiobook playing so I don't notice someone coming into the server room. My first hint that I am not alone is eyeballs between two servers, then I see someone's mouth moving in the form words usually force a mouth to make. I can't hear anything, so I go down to the end of the racks, turn the corner and find myself faced with a manager. Me, yelling HI. You shouldn't be in here. Manager, I yelling I need you to talk to someone about an issue. Me, mouthing no. Which unless you're a lip reader, apparently looks like you're saying okay, then giving him a get out thumb. He looks confused, grins, gives me a thumbs up and leaves the server room. I take out my phone and I see there are no help tickets from this person, no emails directly from this person, and nothing from his manager. I go back to my little workspace, and I am clearing out temp files on an old server that doesn't know how to tidy up itself. Then I notice one of the servers is off, one that shouldn't be off. I can see the fan sitting stationary. I hit its KVM number, and it gives me no signal from the source, so I hit the ID button and head around front. I pull the faceplate and turn on the server, then head back around to the back. In the few seconds I take to move back around behind the rack, the server has shut back off. So I do the next thing on the list, unplug the power and push it out so I can pull the top panel to see what's wrong. As I push the server out of the rack, it hits something. I figure it's just the rack door swung partially closed. Some of these racks do that. When I go back around the racks with my trusty step stool, I see manager laid out on the floor, bleeding from a gash on his forehead. I drop the step stool and rush over. His eyes are open, and he does appear to be breathing. Me, are you alright? I get no answer. He just looks at me, and then back at the server sticking out of the rack. I stick my head out the door and tell whoever is in earshot to call HR and get the first aid kit. Suddenly it's a party, everyone is gawking in through the windows to the server room. The HR guy sees the blood and calls 911 for an ambulance and the cops. In his defense, there was a lot of blood on the guy's forehead. They are afraid to move him, and there is even some talk about turning off some of the noise. I just look at them like they are insane at that comment as I stand to the side and let the first aid trained HR guy handle the situation. The EMS guys arrive, declare it's safe to move him, and finally everyone is out of my server room. Then the cops arrive and have 100 questions, and I don't enjoy 99 of them. They lessen up the questions after I tell them it was all caught on camera, and they go off to HR to watch the replay. I explained that I think what happened was that the manager came back in and was looking for me. Instead of looking behind the racks, he was looking through them, and I just happened to catch him in the forehead with a server I was working on at the time. Then I had to explain how I didn't hit him with the server. He hit the server. It's not like I was watching to see someone get right at the correct spot before I pushed the server out of the rack. At this point, I'm certain most of the company thought I threw a server at the guy, or used it like a club to bludgeon him in the head. The cops come back by and tell me it appears to be a workplace accident, and thank me for my time. That works for me. I log into the camera system, pull up the camera for the front rack area and scroll back a bit to see what happened. I see me come around to the front, open the door, turn on the server, and then head back to my workspace. The manager comes back in the server room and leaned over looking through the server racks. I apparently had just gone behind the racks when he came in the door, because he looks through all the racks until he gets to the open door. He leans over, I see the server start to slide out, he hears or senses the movement, looks up straight into the server. I replay that bit a few times. It looks like he did it on purpose, but I've been told it's not safe to leave this guy out in the rain, if you know what I mean. I guess he knows why we don't let everyone into the server room now. And yes, I plan to finish the other mess I left. That's not good enough. You're a computer expert, you should know these things. I used to work tech support at a place that used to sell mortgages. They had a fairly specialized piece of software that they used. One of the brokers asked me how to do something specific in it that I didn't know how to do off the top of my head, so I mentioned I didn't know how to do what he needed, but I would find out and get back to him. He said to me, "That's not good enough. You're a computer expert, you should know these things." So I said to him, "Okay, I have a $250,000 home loan with XYZ Bank over 25 years. We are 8 years into the loan. If I want to change this to a 30-year mortgage, how much would my monthly repayments be, and how much extra total interest would I need to pay for the extra 5 years on the loan?" He said, "I'd have to calculate that and let you know." To which I replied, "That's not good enough. You're a mortgage expert, you should know these things. I'm old and have a lecture in 5 minutes and don't know how to use Zoom, can you show me?" I recently started working frontline at a college university, and holy f***ck the amount of fossils coming in just before their lecture is supposed to start asking for a lightning course in how to use it. The boss have done all that he can in group policy to make Zoom as dumb-friendly as possible, but people still manage to f***ck it up. This one time a lady was lecturing, and I got called by someone at home who didn't hear the lecture, troubleshoot everything and nothing. Ended up logging into my Zoom dashboard to check the call myself, and the professor wasn't wearing a mic. Had to go into the hall and explain she needed to use the mic for the people at home to listen to what she said. Also, for some reason everyone else in the lecture hall was logged into Zoom as well. There is this guy that every time he has a lecture he arrives 2 hours early to make sure everything works and is in order. I love that guy. Clueless about technology but tries his hardest to learn. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.